Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also has a few new tricks up its sleeve. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and welcome back to another show here of Monday's Q&A show, Airsoftology Answers, whatever you want to call it. It is your show, and I love it that you guys come hang out here and ask some fantastic questions. And before we get started into the actual questions, if you guys are new here, I've got a lot of new subscribers since the past few months, and you guys may be the first time you're watching the show. If you guys want to get your question in the show, it's super simple. Put in the comment section below and vote up your favorites. Every single week, I read every single comment before the next week's show, and I pick the best ones out. I try to pick some good questions each week and get them into the next one. And don't be discouraged if your question doesn't get on the show. I do, like I said, do read them every week. I try to pay attention to the people who are asking good ones and get them on future shows. So keep asking them in every single show, and eventually I will get them on. It's going to happen, I promise. Also, before we get into the questions, real quick, got these guys left. I'm going to see if I can make it focus. The magic of, there you go, the magic of focusing on the camera. So guys, these are left in the store. I've got a restock of these. We're good to go on the logos. So if you guys have been holding up for this, the Corgi patch, we are probably more than 2/3 sold, probably 3/4 sold. If you guys were watching a couple weeks ago, I said we're going to be Make Airsoft Great Again patch. It is gone. It is sold out. You guys are so awesome. And these are darn near gone, the Tactic Corgi. So if you guys are holding out, remember that's over in the Airsoftology store, and I'll have a link, as always, in the description below so you guys can check it out. But enough of me hawking the wares. It's time to get into what you're really here for, and that's your questions in the Palco mail call. Next USA writes, I have a question. What are your thoughts on the Novritsch crew ban? All right, so this was by far the #1 most asked question, voted up at least 43 thumbs up on this one. So I definitely have to address it and what's going on. So if you guys aren't familiar with the whole thing with Novritsch and the cheating incident, definitely go check out his channel. He's got a reply video that discusses the issues around that. But I'll give you guys a quick synopsis here, what's going on. He was at a game at a field in Austria, in his home country, in his hometown. Him and his two buddies were there. They were playing. They wandered out of bounds accidentally and ended up getting subsequently banned for doing that. Now, the reason it was discovered he wandered out of bounds, well, he put it up in his video. So he actually posted that he went here, he jumped down, he understood the boundary was at the river. He ended up, the field owner thought it was at the, or supposedly said it was at the wall. And the difference of those two was a discrepancy here. So that's what happened. I think what's going on here is what I've seen at quite a few fields. I've even been on the receiving end of this one many years ago at a field in my hometown back in Nashville, Tennessee. Or it's actually one outside Nashville. It's not Bad Karma, not one of my favorite fields, not some of the great fields that are there, not Nashville Airsoft. Those are all awesome fields. But there's another field out there. And I think you're seeing field owners unfortunately jump to conclusions. So in the Novritsch situation, well, did he go out of bounds? Absolutely he did. Did he do it knowingly? No, I don't believe so. And I'm not defending him because I know him personally or anything like that. Because why, if you're going to do something and cheat at your local field, a field that you attend all the time, and the boundaries do shift apparently, and a field you're going to be going to attend all the time in the future, why would you knowingly do something like that and then put it in a video on your channel and put it up for the world and of course the field owners to see? So to me, that immediately rings that he wasn't aware that was the rule. Now, flash forward to how he found out. Well, he found out he was banned because he found it on Reddit. That was it. I mean, Reddit went wild. The field owners posted on Reddit that he and his buddies were all banned from the field and didn't try to address it with Novritsch directly. And not to go and take sides on this. Again, this is halfway across the world. I'm in the United States. This is a field in Austria, a small local issue, but I want to dive into this. I think field owners, sometimes, certain ones, very specific few, if there's 100 fields, there's probably 1 or 2 field owners that would do this, do jump to conclusions. And perhaps they were trying to get some attention for their field, trying to get some publicity. Maybe there was some issues going on behind the scene we're not aware of, but this was an opportunity for that field owner to lash out. Because if that person was being professional as an owner, let's say I own the field, Novritsch came and did that, I would call him up like, hey, Novritsch, I'd like to talk to you about this issue. Can you not do it again? Or next time he came out, hey man, I saw your video, you went out of bounds. Don't let that happen again. You know, maybe weren't clear on the rules on this. So, you know, here are the new boundaries boundaries if you guys aren't aware of it, rather than just blasting on internet. I think that's kind of a common thing now. It's like, rather than discuss it like human beings, let's blast somebody on the internet. I was a part of the same kind of situation, except not our bounds. The team I was on was called out for something we did not do. Absolutely. I was there. I was actually observing that game. Did not do it at all. And then we're banned from a field in outside of Nashville, Tennessee after the fact. We talked to the owner during the time we were there. When we left, there was no problem at all. It never addressed with us once. Walked away. And because we kind of played pretty good that day, we're not even just not asked to come back, but like flat out, like, you guys are banned. It was one of those situations. Then we tried to reach out to the field owner. They refused to talk to us about it or anything kind of situation like that. So I really have some sympathy in this case with the Novritsch situation. I know it's a really long answer to a really short question, but is Novritsch a cheater? No, I really don't think. Did he step out of bounds and do something like that on accident? Sure, absolutely. I mean, it's in his video. He even says it in his response video. And I'm hoping these two people can work things out. I'm hoping the field owner can work it out. I think to Novritsch's point, more than him having to be there at that field, because he does travel around the world to do airsoft, he's got two guys that live there in Austria who don't get a chance to travel, who are not going to have a chance to use that field. And it's terrible. That's an outcome of this situation. I think it's because of his presence or his celebrity, which I hate that word, in airsoft, because he's so notable. This was maybe taken a little unjustly, a little harshly, versus another player that may have done an accident, got a slap on the wrist and say, hey man, don't do it again. So yeah, those are my 2 cents. I know it's a lot of 2 cents. It was a long answer to a very short question, but I hope it helps clear up the Novritsch is not a cheater issue. Daniel Smith writes, hey John, I have a smoke grenade in my kit for about 6 months now. Will it be safe to use? So as long as you've kept it out of the moisture, it should be fine to use. The moisture is probably going to just make it so it won't work or not work that well. I'm assuming we're talking about Enola Gay here, because they're probably the most prevalent smoke grenade in the United States. You might have like some sports smoke or one of those that you like, but I'm assuming like the pull smoke grenades. 6 months, if you've kept it dry, it should be totally fine. I've kept Enola Gay smokes plenty longer than that. I have some that are well over a year. I still take them to games. I still use them. They work perfectly fine, no problem, as long as you kept them in a cool, dry place. If you kept them somewhere with a lot of moisture, like in the trunk of your car and it leaks and stuff, you might have some trouble getting it to work or work well, or it may not ignite at all. But it's not gonna like blow up in your face. They're fine as long as you stored them just like that. They run them in the next game, no problem. OC Airsoft writes, are Polar Stars not the master race anymore? What's your preference when it comes to Polar Stars versus the new guns like DSGs becoming more popular? It's funny, the world goes round and round. Back when I started, the evil gun in Airsoft, the master race, was the Sistema PTW. Then it became the dual sector gear gun, and then it became HPA guns like Polar Stars. And now you're seeing a lot of people go back to the HPA, or not to the HPA, go back to the DSG. So we've seen it go up and up, and then we're going to kind of see it jump back. I mean, we may even go back to the PTW here soon enough. I think because of the unfortunate bad publicity around HPA guns at fields. A lot of field owners were like, rather than deal with the bad player or players that were using these guns to their advantage, just go ahead and said, okay, no more HPA or whatever. We're going to segregate, the HPA players to a different field. Sometimes the problem gets out of control to a point where that's all you can do. So if they have half their customer base that have HPAs, you can't just say, no, you can't use your $800 or $1,000 gun at my field anymore. They don't want to lose their customers. And rightfully so. It makes a lot of sense. So they had to find a way to work around it. So I think people are going back because of the stigma. Again, there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's just a jerk player is a jerk player. They're going to use whatever tool they have in their arsenal to be a jerk, whether it's a dual sector gear, the DSG, an HPA gun turned way up, or a system of PTW cheating, putting the cylinders in. No matter what it is, they're going to find that way. Has Polar Star or HPA guns had its day? I think there's still players out there that have them. I mean, they're still using them. They're still playing with them. I think the fields that are allowing them, they're still having them and running them, no problem. But I think a lot of players are maybe going back to the old tech way of DSGs. I think a lot of the higher end tech companies out there, you see like Umbrella and some other big names out in the tech world, are doing those DSG builds and doing a really good job at it. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one, again, like I promised, is coming from you guys. I've been asking you guys to put your recommendations down below. Thank you so much for sending some great ones in. This one comes from Jugs McFlugs. I think I've seen him before because I love that name. I think I commented the last time on it too. Video recommendation is perfect for all those Russian milsimmers. And this is the channel I wasn't aware of. It's primarily in Russian, And it is a great channel. It is actually called, I'm going to pull it up right here. Give me 2 seconds here because I'm so unprepared. Marty Airsoft, out of Russia. He's actually a Russian airsofter, and looking at stuff does a lot of stuff very similar to what I do. And I'm not saying to copy me. I'm saying it's like a informative, great channel. Has quite a few subs, 202,000 subscribers, which I have no idea. I didn't know. I did mash that subscribe button after watching this stuff. His older stuff's all in Russian. He does have English subtitles in there, so if you guys speak English or read English, you should be totally fine. And if you have to speak Russian, you're totally set watching this guy out. This video is if you guys who are real into Russian milsim, I think that's something that's been exploding here in the United States, at least for the past year or maybe even 2 with like Milsim West and these other big events. Everywhere I go, I seem to see people wearing Russian kit, myself included. This is Russian Army slang for airsoft games. So you actually learn the Russian language. It's a 7-minute video that actually gives you Russian military commands or basic slang commands in Russian. So you get a little Russian class. It's actually really cool. And it's like how to, call for contact, contact front, left, right, back, all the different things, reloading drills, all that stuff, all in Russian and different variations of it. So if you guys, he kind of builds on it. I like the way he put it together. It's kind of like doing a little Rosetta Stone show here. So guys, if you want to learn a little Russian, you want to kind of mix it up, you're into a Russian milsim kind of group or an oppression group, or heck, you just want to have a little fun on the battlefield and go crazy in a different language aside from English, check out Russian Army Slang for Airsoft Games. It's by Marty Airsoft, and also check out his other stuff. He's got some really great stuff on his channel. And as always, I'll have a link in the description below, or you can click it right over here to my side and you can watch the video. Well guys, that's it for this week. As always, thank you for hanging out with me here on the show and asking some awesome questions down below. Next week, I'll be heading to SoCal, back in SoCal. Yes, I've been away for a few months now, 2 or 3 months, I guess now, heading back to the land of milk and honey, it's sunshine and earthquakes. So heading that way from Portland, which is where I'm at right now, finishing up my tour here in Portland, Oregon. Love the Pacific Northwest. Even the rain is awesome up here. So guys, until next week, I will see you guys, but until then, go out, play some airsoft, enjoy the California sun, but no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.